Title: Truth in Transition, the Triple Zero Mirage, Muhammad Yunus, and the Crisis of Credibility. Welcome to Truth in Transition, the show where we cut through the promises, question the powerful, and bring you facts that matter. I'm Dr. Milton Hasnat, your host, and today we ask a question that has become urgent, not just for Bangladesh, but for the global conscience. What happens when a celebrated global icon is given real power and fails? We're talking about Professor Muhammad Yunus, Nobel Peace Prize laureate, microfinance pioneer, and creator of the Triple Zero Theory, a vision of a world with zero poverty, zero unemployment, zero net carbon emissions. It sounds visionary, it sounds revolutionary. But here's the reality. Since 8 August 2024, Muhammad Yunus has been the chief advisor of Bangladesh's interim government. Nearly a year into his tenure, it is clear his promises are not matching the people's reality. In fact, we are witnessing the opposite of what he preaches. Professor Yunus is revered globally as a social business visionary. But when that vision was tested in the real world, in his own country, the result is disappointment, disillusionment, and some say betrayal. Today we dissect how the Triple Zero vision has collapsed under Yunus's leadership and why millions of Bangladeshis are paying the price. Number 1, zero poverty. Let's start with poverty. The first pillar of Yunus's vision. During his tenure as chief advisor, poverty is on the rise. Recent reports from local economic think tanks and NGOs suggest that the cost of living has skyrocketed, especially food prices and transport. The rural poor, day laborers, and informal workers, once hailed as the target beneficiaries of Yunus's microcredit model, are the ones suffering the most. Inflation-adjusted income has dropped for the lowest 40% of earners. Essential commodities have become unaffordable. Yet no meaningful poverty alleviation programs have been rolled out by this interim government. Where is zero poverty when families are at risk of skipping meals? Where is zero poverty when children are at risk of being pulled out of school to work? This isn't just failure, it's a contradiction of everything Yunus claims to stand for. Number 2, zero unemployment. Yunus often speaks about the dignity of work, that everyone deserves a job, a purpose, a future. That's the second pillar of Triple Zero, zero unemployment. But let's look at the numbers and the reality on the ground. Since Yunus assumed office, unemployment has increased, particularly among the youth. A wave of policy uncertainty, suspension of regular political activities, and widespread administrative paralysis has frozen job creation. Small businesses are closing, local industries are struggling, foreign investment is on hold, and the interim government has failed to present any national employment strategy, job stimulus package, or support for the informal sector. When you had the power to create jobs, you did nothing. When the people needed a leader, they got silence. Is this what you meant by zero unemployment? Number 3, zero carbon. Now let's examine the environmental pillar. Zero net carbon emissions. Dr. Yunus has long portrayed himself as a global climate warrior. He's spoken at COP summits, partnered with climate funds, and positioned Bangladesh as a potential leader in the green economy. But under his leadership, no environmental reforms have been enacted. There is no new climate legislation, no expansion of renewable energy, and no effort to reduce fossil fuel dependency. In fact, several controversial infrastructure projects that harm wetlands and forests are quietly continuing, some reportedly backed by influential business interests with ties to powerful institutions. The question is blunt. If you truly believe in zero carbon, why are you allowing environmentally destructive projects under your rule? The political reality. Let's be honest, the Yunus administration is not elected. It came to power through extra-constitutional means, backed by the military and unelected elites under the guise of restoring order. There is no democratic mandate, political parties have been sidelined, the media is censored, the courts are under pressure. In short, Bangladesh is under unelected rule, and Yunus is at the center of it. He claims to represent social justice, but he governs without electoral legitimacy. He speaks of freedom and dignity abroad, but presides over repression at home. This is not a social business. This is state power, and state power must serve the people, not theories, not slogans, and certainly not global PR campaigns. The crisis of credibility. Professor Yunus was once the pride of Bangladesh. Now many feel betrayed. The poor see no relief, the youth see no jobs, the planet sees no green leadership. 000 has become a triple failure. Zero poverty, poverty is rising. Zero unemployment, joblessness is growing. Zero carbon, pollution continues unchecked. In this context, we must ask ourselves, is Professor Yunus a visionary leader or just a global celebrity detached from the people's pain? The truth is, ideas only matter if they can survive the test of reality. Slogans are easy, leadership is hard, and right now, Bangladesh needs more than slogans. It needs justice, it needs democracy, it needs real action, not empty theories. Thank you for watching Truth in Transition. If you found this episode thought-provoking, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, when power changes hands, truth must stay in ours.